Today's reading is Luke chapter 1 verse 46 to 56, and it's the canticle we call the Magnificat, from the opening words in Latin, Magnificat anima mea Dominum. It's a song of praise which Mary is said to have uttered on her visit to her cousin Elizabeth when they were each expecting a child. Elizabeth was carrying John the Baptist and Mary was newly pregnant with Jesus. We say or sing this canticle every evening in the Anglican tradition, and those of us who do this regularly become very familiar with the words. The danger of this is that the words can lose their impact. The Magnificat has been called a revolutionary charter. It's actually celebrating how the world as we know it is being turned upside down. Mary is explaining how God's act of salvation challenges just about every human assumption and security. Is it wealth we trust in? Is it power? Is it pedigree? All these are overturned, as Mary, a simple peasant girl from a backwater, is chosen to be the mother of God. And this act takes up and fulfills many previous acts of God following a similar pattern. Mary's song echoes the song of Hannah, the mother of Samuel, who conceived her son after many years of waiting and praying. David, ancestor of Jesus, was the youngest of Jesse's sons, but the one chosen to be the future king. Joseph, the younger brother, sold into slavery in Egypt, becomes the ruler of Egypt and saves his family, and therefore the whole people of God. Elizabeth, too, was experiencing an extraordinary pregnancy, as her age and infertility were thought to rule her out from childbearing. All these were precedents, but Mary tops them all. She relishes the irony of her situation. Those who heard about her pregnancy at the time would have thought her disgraced, her reputation in tatters. She was lucky that Joseph didn't cast her off or even have her stoned. Instead, she becomes the blessed one for future generations. It comes with a price, of course. All the gospel narratives being written in retrospect have the shadow of the cross hanging over them. And Mary lived to see this, watching her son die. It's a torment which, mercifully, few of us can imagine. But it was followed by the glory of the resurrection as her son opened the gate of heaven for us. I cannot imagine Mary as any shy, timid, retiring, meek and mild sort of girl. I cannot imagine she would have survived if she was like that. And in fact, would she even have been chosen if she was like that? She needed to be tough, resilient, determined, strong, independent. Nicholas Lee captures this Mary in her poetry. This one is called Annunciation, and Mary is called Miriam, which may be close to her original name. This is a rather more down-to-earth depiction of the Annunciation than we are perhaps used to. It goes like this. It was not as it has long been imagined. I did not sit alone in silken garb reading my book. There was no enclosed garden. Lilies did not grow in our hot Palestinian courtyards. For a start, it was never quiet. People were always coming and going in the compound, fetching water, ferrying animals or children, hanging out the washing, pounding corn, or gathering for gossip under the dark olive trees. And prayers were noisy too. We intoned the Shema in unison, the whole gabble of us, whoever happened to be around at the time. Elders recited the scriptures while children grizzled and goats shuffled in their pens. Don't imagine me wrapped in ecstasy or fingering a rosary. The prayers of Jewish girls are more pragmatic. I was never alone anyway. There was always somebody wanting something. Miriam, help me make the bread. Miriam, clear that trestle. Miriam, fetch more water. No angel wafted in on golden wings. Gabriel barged in, banging his bag down on the table. It was the only way he could get my attention above the din. At least a dozen pairs of eyes turned to look where he stood, dishevelled and dusty, shouting, "Miriam, there's another job for you to do."